Namaste, friends. I'm Heather Wiest with Love Serve Inspire, and today I'll be guiding you through a simplify, gentle yoga flow. For today's practice, we'll be using 2 yoga blocks, a blanket or a towel, and a yoga strap. If you do not have blocks, a couple of thick books would work. If you do not have a strap, a bath or beach towel will work great. I'm here to guide you, but you are always your best teacher. So please, listen to your body, stay safe, and have fun. We're going to begin in a comfortable seated position. So if you know that is not good for you to sit on the floor or your mat, feel free to grab a chair for our seated portion of class. If you're seated, you're going to go ahead and find that comfortable seat. Feel free to sit on a block or the edge of a blanket just to make it a little bit more comfortable for you. If you need the blocks underneath the knees to support you, please do so. We're going to ground our hands onto our thighs. We're going to take a nice deep inhale in and let it go through the mouth. Another nice cleansing breath. Deep inhale and cleansing exhale. Wherever you are seated, just feel your spine nice and tall. Allow your shoulders to draw back and just let yourself relax through the sides of the neck and the jaw. We're going to continue those full and complete inhalations and exhalations, now in and out through the nose. So find a comfortable breath for you, full and complete inhales and exhales. Feel your breath of life flowing freely through your body. And as you inhale, I want you to think about what you need today, bringing that in with your inhalation, whether that be strength, maybe peace and calm, maybe it's wisdom and clarity of mind. Maybe it's just, I don't know, whatever you need, you bring it in that inhalation. Maybe it's joy, a lightheartedness. And then with each exhale, I want you to think of a stress, care, or worry that you can let go of. So inhaling what you need today. Exhaling what's no longer serving you, something you can let go of. About 5 more full breaths with your breath intention. Working with the collective theme today of simplifying. No matter what area of life that might mean for you, whether that be physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually, just simplifying. So allowing yourself to complete this statement. To simplify life, I am, and you fill in the blank. To simplify life, I am, and you fill in the blank. Notice what shows up first for you. There is freedom in letting go. There is freedom in letting go. We'll draw our hands at heart center. Allow yourself to bow the head into the heart, just sealing in your intentions for your practice today. And we'll softly open the eyes. And if you're seated on the floor, you're going to go ahead and switch the cross of the legs. If you're in that chair, just go ahead and remain there while we are doing some little stretches in our seated position. So we're going to inhale the arms up and overhead. And as you exhale, you're going to take that right hand, ground it somewhere, and then take that left arm up and overhead. You can place a generous bend into that right elbow, just getting a stretch along that left side body. Let it feel good. One more deep inhale as you lengthen. Exhale, open. And we'll inhale the arms all the way back up to center, and we'll exhale the left hand down, grounded on something, right arm lifts. Feel that beautiful stretch into the right side body with your breath. Staying breath connected throughout your practice today. We'll inhale the arms back up. We're going to take a gentle twist to the right. So if that's not good for your body, feel free to stay with those side stretches. So I'm taking my right hand behind me, that left hand grounding on the thigh, taking a nice deep inhale as I lengthen. And as I exhale, I can get a nice twist into my spine. Relaxing through the jaw and the side of the neck. One more full breath on this side. Then we're going to go ahead and inhale back up to center. Take that twist over to the left. The left hand grounds on something. The right hand can reach for the knee or the thigh. Taking that nice deep inhale as you lengthen. And exhale, finding the twist for you today. Softening once again through the jaw, the sides of the neck, and the shoulders. Then we're going to go ahead and inhale back to center. Feel free to just stay upright, or we're just going to walk our fingertips a little bit forward. Finding a little bit of a forward fold, just pressing the hands into something, allowing your head to look down, and just give yourself a nice gentle forward fold. Again, if that's not good for you, just staying in the upright seated position. One more full deep inhale and exhale. We're gently going to come back up to seated. If you are in a chair, we're going to be transitioning onto hands and knees onto our mat. So we're going to go ahead and release the legs. Maybe give them a nice little shake if you've been sitting on your mat. And then we'll just take the feet behind us, coming into tabletop. Now, if you need extra cushion for your knees, feel free to grab that blanket or towel and place it underneath the knees. So we want to spread the fingers wide. You want to make sure that your shoulders are over the wrist and that you have the hips over the knees and the feet are relaxed behind you. We're going to go ahead and come into some movement to open up through the spine, cow and cat. So as you inhale, you're going to bring the head and the heart forward and the belly drops as you come into your cow shape. And then exhale, draw the navel into the spine, rounding through the upper back. Chin comes into the chest as you come into your cat. Continuing with your breath. So as you inhale, you gaze forward into that cow shape. And then as you exhale, you round in to the cat. A few more breaths here. Let it feel good as you bring some movement. So you're in total control of how much you take in these postures. So listen to the body. Moving with your breath. One more full round of breath. And then we'll find neutral position. Sometimes it doesn't feel very good on the wrists to have them on the floor like this. So always feel free to take some fists, or you can take any other variation with the hands that feels good for you. So now we're gently just going to wag the hips side to side. Feel free to stay with this or take some big hip circles. So we're going to go into the right direction first, 3 full rounds. So let it feel good as you bring some movement into the body. Again, you can stay with just wagging the hips side to side. Once you've done 3 on the right side, you're going to rotate to the left. So just taking those circles in the other direction. Remembering to keep the jaw and the face relaxed. And then finding a neutral tabletop position. We're going to take the right toes back on the mat. You have a flex into the foot, and this is a pretty strong stretch for the back of the foot, the Achilles, and the back of that right leg. So again, be gentle with your body here. If you want a little bit more, those frontal hip points lift, so you begin to engage the core and you can push the hands away. And then from here, we're going to take the right toes and just move them behind the left leg. And we're going to gaze over that left shoulder. So find a stretch in the right side of the body as you push more into the right hand. Gaze can be wherever it's comfortable for your head and neck. And then we'll inhale back to center, bringing the right knee to the mat. We'll inhale the left toes back. Get that nice stretch for the back of your left leg. Again, you can lift the frontal hip points to get a little more stretch in the front of that leg. And you can push the palms forward onto the mat just to give yourself a little bit of traction and resistance. I like to gaze just at the top of my mat or in between the hands, just so that my neck is in alignment with my spine. And then we'll take that left foot, we'll cross it over the right, and we're going to look over the right shoulder this time, pushing more into that left hand if you want more resistance. Let it feel good as you stretch along that left side body. And then we'll inhale, bringing the left toes and the left knee back to the mat. We're going to be taking shoulder, thread the needle. We're going to start with that left arm out to this side. We're going to thread it through the right, and that left ear and temple are going to try to come down to the mat. If they don't, that's okay. You can always use your yoga block to rest the head. So if you can ground down, you're going to take the right arm a little bit more forward if you want a little more stretch. So you should feel a stretch in that left outer shoulder and along that right arm and shoulder as well. 3 more full breaths. Soften into the stretch. Notice where you're gripping and just allow yourself to relax with each exhalation. Then we're gently going to arise. So you're going to draw that right hand back under the shoulder. You're going to inhale back up, unthread the left arm, and bring it back to tabletop. We'll take that right arm out to this side now. Thread it through the left. The right ear and temple will come down to the mat or a block. And then from here, the left fingertips can come more forward if you need additional stretch. So feel the stretch on the outside of that right arm and into the left arm. 3 more full deep breaths. And then very gently, you're going to draw the left hand back under the shoulder. Use the strength of that hand to bring you back up to neutral tabletop. We're going to take a pose called puppy dog or melting heart. So the hips are going to stay high just like we've been having them. We're going to take the arms more forward of the mat. And again, if you need a block for your head, feel free to use that. And you're going to allow the head to come on down towards that block or mat. So you're going to feel a nice stretch as you ground through the hands. You're going to feel the stretch into the arms, the shoulders, and into the upper back, the thoracic spine. So again, a nice lengthening through the spine. It should feel good. You can always lift up if you need to. 2 more full breaths. And then very gently, we're going to go ahead and push into the hands. You're going to draw the hands back. And we're going to be coming into Child's Pose Balasana. I'm going to show you 2 variations. So the classic variation is knees as wide as the mat, the big toes touch, and then you release the hips back, and the arms come forward, and the head comes down towards the mat. Now, if you have any issues with the knee, you can feel free to take a rolled towel or blanket behind the knees, and that will help a lot. If you have lower back issues, sometimes it's better to have the knees together, and you'll just go ahead and try to sit on back, and you can use the block for the forehead, and the arms can stay forward or come back behind you. So experiment here and see what works in your child's pose. If none of those options work, you can stay in tabletop or that puppy dog variation where the arms were forward of the mat and the head came down to the mat with the hips high to the sky. So you got 3 more breaths wherever you're at. Breathe into that back body, release tension, creating space. And then we're going to go ahead and slowly, we're going to be transitioning onto our belly for Sphinx pose. So wherever you're at, you're going to safely come down onto the belly. So Sphinx pose, the arms are in front of you. The elbows are pretty much in front of you or underneath the shoulders. So the hands and the arms look like the number 11 in front of you. And the feet are a little bit wider than hip width distance. So I really want you to feel a gentle back bend here, nothing into the lower back. So pressing the pubic bone into the mat will help you here, just to feel a little lift as you draw the navel in towards the spine. So engaging the core will help support that lower back. So in Sphinx pose, we're going to take 3 lion's breaths. Just a great way to release stress and to release any tension in the face and the jaw. So we take a nice deep inhale in, we let the tongue hang out, and we roar like a lion. It feels pretty silly, but the effects feel real nice after. So we're going to go ahead and inhale, tongue out. 2 more times, nice deep inhale, tongue out and roar. 1 more here, inhale, tongue out. Nice job. So from here, we're going to come all the way down. The forehead's going to come down to the mat. My hands are going to come more underneath my shoulders, and I'm going to draw my legs in a little bit more to where they're hip width distance. We're going to inhale for low cobra. So I have like cricket arm legs here. My elbows are reaching towards the sky. And I'm going to go ahead and inhale, push into my hands, lift the chest and shoulders off the mat. Again, you shouldn't feel any tension in the lower back. So hug the elbows in, just lift a little bit. You can push through the tops of the feet. Even the kneecaps can lift here. 1 more full breath in our low cobra. And then we're going to exhale back down. We're going to inhale. We're going to go ahead and lift up into a half plank. So I'm going to go ahead and I have my knees where they're comfortable. My feet are just flat on the mat supporting, and I have my shoulders over the wrist for half plank pose. You're welcome to stay here, or I'm going to show you a chaturanga tricep dip here, or push up. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my elbows straight back. So I'm working my triceps as I just come down halfway, and then I inhale back up. We'll try that 1 more time. So we're going to bend into the elbows halfway and come back up. So notice what that felt like for you. If that was too much, you're just going to stay in this half plank. So we're going to tuck the toes under, and we're going to exhale into downward facing dog. So bend the knees a lot here. Notice how this feels in the body. So the most important thing with down dog is just a nice long spine. So you're like an upside down V. And if you can, you're going to go ahead and try to straighten through the legs. If you can't, you're going to keep the bend into the knees. So you're going to go ahead, place a generous bend into the right knee, and allow that left heel to come down towards the mat. Feel a nice stretch into the left leg. And then we're going to go ahead and switch. Ground that right heel down, place a bend into the left knee. So in down dog, you're really pushing the hands down and away, and the tops of the thighs are drawing back and up. You're going to go ahead and ground both heels down to comfort, again, keeping the generous bend into the knees. So tops of the thighs pushing back and up. Hands pushing down and away. And then those front ribs hug in. Nice job. So we're going to drop back down to the knees. We're going to come back into that half plank. So we're going to do a little flow here 3 times. So if you like, you're welcome to stay here. We're going to exhale through that chaturanga halfway. Inhale back up, tuck the toes under. You're going to exhale, downward facing dog. Holding for a breath here, letting it feel good as you really root through all areas of the hand and you push the thighs back and up. Front ribs hug in, so you're engaging the core. Then we'll go ahead and drop down to the knees, finding your half plank. You're welcome to stay here, or exhale through that chaturanga. Elbows come right alongside your ribs. Inhale up, and then tuck the toes under. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to do one more just like that, our little flow. So grounding the knees down, you're in that half plank. Exhale through your chaturanga, building arm and shoulder strength. Inhale up, tuck the toes under. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good work, everyone. We're going to bend the knees and we're going to walk our feet up towards our hands. So you're welcome to stay in a ragdoll forward fold, clasping opposite elbows, or you can just ground the hands to the thighs in a little forward fold, half forward fold. So picking your fold. If you're clasping the opposite elbows, you can give yourself a little sway, let the head and neck go. Few more breaths here. So we're going to go ahead and bend into the right knee wherever you're at and take your gaze over towards the left. Feel a little more stretch in the left hip, left outer leg. And then we'll go ahead and switch that. Place a bend into the left knee, gaze towards the right, and feel more stretch in the right outer hip and the outer leg. Beautiful. Then we're going to go ahead and take our half lift here. Hands to the outsides of the shins, or you can continue to just hold on to the thighs. And then we'll come all the way up to standing. Nice job, everyone. So we're going to find Tadasana Mountain Pose. So your feet are nice and solid into your mat. The arms are just by the sides here. And you're drawing the shoulders back and down, just feeling a nice focus as you gaze forward. Your stance can be whatever is comfortable for you. We're going to inhale the arms up and overhead. We're going to interlace the fingers, except the index finger, and cross the thumbs in front. We're going to exhale over towards the right as you stay planted into the legs. So feel your stretch on that left side body, standing half moon. And then we'll inhale to center, and then we'll exhale over to the left. Feel a nice stretch in the right side. And then we'll inhale back up. We'll release the hands, take them behind the back. Interlace the hands and draw the shoulders away from the ears. Get a nice stretch. And then we're going to take that right ear to right shoulder to comfort. So again, notice what feels good in your body. Feel the stretch all along that left side trapezius and neck. And then we'll exhale chin to chest. Let everything go. And then we'll take the left ear to left shoulder. Feel the stretch along the right side of the neck and trapezius muscle. And then chin to chest. Then we'll inhale the arms back, or the head back up, and the arms back down to the sides. All right, so from here we're going to take fierce pose, Utkatasana. So you're going to go ahead and squat down. You're going to take your feet about hip-width distance, and you're going to bring your booty down and the arms to the sky. So it's a nice strong pose. The weight's more into your heels as we build strength in our quads and our glutes. Frontal hip points lift, so begin to turn on that core. And then we're going to go ahead and bring the hands to heart center and back down to Tadasana. We're going to do that 4 more times. So we'll inhale, Utkatasana, fierce pose, building strength in our legs. Frontal hip points lift. And then we'll go ahead and come on up, hands to heart and down. Now working more with our breath here. Inhale, Utkatasana, and then exhale. Bring the hands to heart and back down, Tadasana. Let's do 3 more rounds. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, hands to heart and back down. Few more rounds here. Inhale, Utkatasana. You're doing great, building strength. Exhale, hands to heart and back down to mountain. 2 more rounds. Inhaling, Utkatasana. Exhale, hands to heart and back down. This time we're going to hold Utkatasana. We're going to bring the hands to heart center. You're going to come back to that breath intention. Inhaling what you need. Exhale what you want to release or let go of. Another full round here. Inhale what you need. Exhale what you want to release. Good job. And then we'll exhale, forward fold. Again, you can come halfway or all the way down. We're going to inhale for the half lift, and you're going to find your blocks. Bring it in front of you at whatever height you need or those books. And from here, we're going to go ahead and take that right leg back into a low lunge. So we're holding that low lunge just for a couple of breaths to get a stretch. So again, the blocks can come at any height that you need. And then we're gently going to bring that right knee to the mat. If you need a blanket under the knee, please feel free to grab it or fold your mat over for a double length. So we're going to inhale. You're going to hug into midline as you inhale up for our crescent B pose. Nice job. So there's a lot of balance here. So feel free to keep those blocks next to you and hold on to them. So you want to imagine your legs like scissors. So you're hugging into midline and you're lengthening the tailbone towards the earth. From here, I'm going to go ahead and take my right block. I'm going to move it alongside right by my right hip. I'm going to ground my right hand into that block. I'm going to lean over towards that right with my left hand. So I'm getting a nice stretch into my left side body as I keep that left foot rooted into the mat. Let it feel good here as we hold for a couple more full breaths. Gaze can be where it's comfortable for your head and neck. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and inhale back up. And we're going to go ahead and reach, and you can bring your blocks with you. We're going to go ahead and take our hands to the right corner of our mat. We're going to keep the bend in the knee if we can. And we're just going to bow in, getting a nice stretch along our spine here. So again, you can angle those blocks where you need them. Just get a nice little, like a down dog feel in this pose of crescent B. One more full breath, feeling the inner thigh of that left leg really opening up. And then we're going to go ahead and inhale back up and draw our blocks and hands back to center. I'm going to ground my hands to the mat. I'm going to take the left leg back for half plank pose. From half plank, your option to stay here, or you can exhale through that chaturanga halfway, elbows hug in. Inhale back up, tuck the toes under, and we'll exhale the hips up and back, downward facing dog. A couple of breaths here in downward facing dog. Pressing the hands down and away, tops of the thighs are pressing back and up, and the front ribs hug in, so you're really solid through the torso. If you'd like, those upper outer arms can turn on a little bit more, just using those shoulders, biceps and triceps. One more full breath. And then as you're ready, we're going to take that right foot up between the hands. It might take a couple steps, and that's okay. And you're going to find your blocks again to rest the hands at any level. So you're in your nice low lunge with the right foot forward and the left foot back. Holding just another breath or two, just to open up through the legs, and then we're going to release the left knee to the mat. As you release the left knee to the mat, feel free to use that blanket or fold your mat over. So hugging into midline, imagining those legs like scissors, you're going to inhale the arms up and overhead. So a lot of balance here in the pose. So find a point of focus. Nice strong arms. Feel your strength. One more full breath as that right thigh draws back and in, the tailbone lengthens down towards the earth. And then from here, I'm going to reach for my block. I'm going to bring it onto the outside of my left hip. My hand's going to root down, and I'm going to take that right arm up and over. Maybe you reach even back farther towards the back edge of the mat. Keeping a bend into the front knee. Softening through the shoulders. Let it feel good. And then we're going to inhale back up. And we're going to take both blocks towards the left corner of the mat. So once you ground the blocks down, you can take your hands to the blocks and then you can bow in if that feels good for you. If that doesn't feel good for you, feel free to stay upright. So keep the bend into the front knee, getting an opening here into the spine, into that right outer hip and inner thigh. A few more breaths. One more deep inhale and exhale. We're going to inhale, bringing the blocks with us, coming on back. You're going to ground your hands to the blocks or the mat. You're going to take the right leg back, finding your half plank pose. You're welcome to stay here. We're going to exhale through chaturanga. Elbows stay right alongside the body, halfway down. Inhale back. Tuck the toes under, exhale, downward facing dog. Last few breaths here in downward facing dog. So make it feel good. Push the hands down and away, tops of the thighs pressing back and up, and then the frontal hip points lift. So engage those ribs, let the torso be solid. Relax the jaw, the sides of the neck. You might nod your head yes and no if that releases the head. One more full breath. And then we're going to go ahead and bring our knees down, coming into a child's pose, your variation. Knees can be as wide as the mat, big toes to touch. The knees can be together. You can take that blanket behind the knees, or you can just stay in a puppy dog pose. So finding your variation for today. 5 full breaths. Coming back to our intention, our breath intention. This intention of simplifying our life. There's freedom in letting go. 2 more full breaths. And we're going to go ahead and inhale on up wherever you're at. We're going to be coming into a 90-90 stretch. So we're going to start with the left leg forward. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my left leg forward, kind of in a 90-degree shape. And I'm going to sit down, and then that back leg's going to come in a 90-degree shape. So you can modify here however you need to, whatever feels best for you. You're welcome to stay a little more upright. You can use your blocks if you'd like. We're just going to go ahead and forward fold to get a stretch in the left outer hip. So most people like to stretch over the calf and shin area of the leg. Other people prefer to come a little bit over the knee or the foot. You pick where you feel it in that left outer hip area, maybe a little bit into the left lower back. So finding a spot where you can ground down and stretch. So I know for me, when it comes to simplifying, I like to think about little soul stops during my day. Maybe little 5-minute breaks where I can just pause and check in, see how I'm doing. Maybe asking God for a little bit of guidance and direction. And just remember, you can take those little soul stops at any time throughout your day just to check in. Where do you need to simplify? What do you need to let go of? What's important in that moment? Two more deep full breaths here. We're going to inhale, walking the hands back up if you were forward folding. And then we're going to go ahead and take that right leg forward, coming into a Janu Sirsasana shape. So the left foot is going to come into the inner thigh of the right leg. If your left knee is really high and you need support, go ahead and bring a block underneath that knee. So we're just going to take a forward fold, and you can bend this knee as much as you like, the right knee. You can always bring a blanket as well underneath that knee. So we're going to inhale the arms up. You're going to angle over the right leg, and then you're going to fold. Again, bending that knee as much as you need, extending through the spine for a couple of breaths, and then forward folding to comfort as we hold for 5 full breaths. Take the breath into any area that's tight. In this pose, I usually feel it in my QL muscles alongside my lower back and the spine. You can feel it in the hamstring, the outer hips, so many places that this pose gets. Single leg stretch or Janu Shirsasana. Just make sure you're relaxing through the jaw, the cheekbones, the face, and the neck. One more full breath. Then we're going to inhale on up. You're going to pause there for a moment. I'm going to give you the option of a little heart opener. So you're going to take your left hand behind you. You can watch me if you want. And I'm going to take my right arm to the sky as the left or right foot plants to the mat, and just getting a little opening into my front body. Just a fun little pose. You can try it out or not. One more full breath. And then we'll exhale the hand back down. Nice job. So we're going to take the 90-90 stretch with that right leg forward now. So I'm going to bend into that right knee. I'm going to take that left leg behind me. Again, about a 90-degree angle with both legs. Feel free to use the blocks if you need to for support. So we're going to go ahead and inch the fingers forward to where you feel the stretch, and then you go ahead and find your variation for today. You can always flex through the front foot to help protect the knee a little bit more. Softening in. Another thing that helps me to simplify is to set some limits, especially when it comes to distractions or technology. Just setting those times where you are actively working on those things on your computer or phone, and then times where you just shut it down to where you don't allow the interruptions to affect you, and you can just take a nice break. So just maybe thinking about where you can simplify in that area. Maybe setting some limits to your screen time or anything else that occupies a lot of time in your day. One more full breath here. And we're going to go ahead, if you're forward folding, you're going to go ahead and come all the way back up. We're going to be taking the left leg forward now for a single leg stretch, or Janu Shirsasana. So you'll take that right foot into the inner thigh. Again, if that knee is really high and you need support, bring a block underneath that knee. You're going to flex into the left foot. And we're going to go ahead and inhale the arms up. You can bend into that knee as much as you need to as you come on down. Find a spot, you can use the blocks, and then you're going to extend through the spine a couple more breaths, and then soften into comfort. Let it feel good here in your body. Wherever you feel it is where you need it. Nice deep inhalations and exhalations. Another thing that helps me simplify is sometimes I'll go about my day and just ask for God's attention. Sometimes there's divine appointments that I'm missing because I'm so busy. So just asking to get God's attention, or that He'll get my attention so I can see Him working and see those divine appointments that may alter my day in an amazing way. One more full breath. We're gently going to arise. We'll find that little heart opener if you like. So we'll take the right hand behind. You'll seal the left foot down, left arm to the sky. Opening up to your comfort. Let it feel good in the front of the body. And then we'll exhale, coming back down. We're going to extend both legs forward for a modified Paschimottanasana. So I'm going to bend into my knees. I'm going to wrap my arms under the thighs. And I'm going to go ahead and just forward fold to comfort. So you're welcome to stay right here and just take the gaze down. If you'd like to go deeper, the heels will slip forward. You're supporting underneath the knees so they don't hyperextend. You can relax the feet and just let the head and neck go. 5 full breaths here. Coming back to your breath intention. Inhaling that quality or qualities you want to take in today. Exhaling, letting go of stresses, cares, and worries. One more full breath. We're gently going to arise. We're going to unwind the arms. We're going to be transitioning onto our back. Just make sure you have your props nearby. And we're going to be using the strap next. If you don't have the strap, grab a towel. That'll work. So we're going to go ahead and come down onto our backs, gently rolling down. And then from here, just keeping it. Go ahead and strap the strap around the ball of that, or you can use a towel. So just getting a little more of a hamstring stretch here while we're on our back. So just relaxing the arms down towards the mat. Feel the right hamstring. Feel free to bend that right knee as much as you need to. And you're welcome to keep a bend into that left knee. If you want a little bit more today, you can straighten the left leg long on the mat. Increases the stretch quite a bit. You want to make sure you have a flex into both feet and you're pushing both tops of the thighs towards their hamstrings, just like in downward facing dog. Three more full breaths in this first variation of Supta Padangustasana 1. Now you're going to angle your right toes a little bit to the right, externally rotating at the very top of that thigh. And just take your leg a little bit over to the right. You want to keep your lower back stable and rooted down. Maybe you bring that left hand to that left hip to remind you. Just a couple more breaths here with the leg out to the side. And then we'll draw the leg back to center, take it halfway over to the left. So I want you to feel the stretch into the outside of your right leg, that IT all the way into your glute. So again, it doesn't take very far. A bit to the left, and you can take the toes closer to the face if you need a little more sensation. Nice flex into that right foot. Pushing that right heel towards the wall. One more full breath. And we're going to inhale the foot back up to center. Bend into that left knee if you have it extended. And then bend into the right knee to help release the towel or the strap. So notice how that feels for you. Maybe you need to hug the knees into the chest or take a full body stretch. We're going to be taking that stretch on the other side. We're going to take the strap now into the ball of that left foot or the towel and a bend into that right knee to start. Extend the left leg to the sky with a nice flex into the foot, and you can you need to. And if you're shaking a little bit, that's normal and natural as we really stretch and open up through our muscles. If things are going well and you need a little bit more, that right leg can come straight down on the mat. Or feel free to keep the bend into the knee. If you have the legs straightened, you're pushing both tops of the thighs towards their hamstrings as best you can, but you can always maintain the bend into the knee. A few more breaths as we open up into that left hamstring. And just notice where you need to soften in the face, the neck, the jaw, the shoulders. Let everything go there. Let the body open. And then we'll externally rotate the very top of that left thigh. The foot angles a little bit to the left, and just take it a few inches towards the left. You want to keep the lower back and pelvis stable and neutral. Just getting a little bit more opening into the inner thigh, the outer hip, and the hamstring. 2 more full breaths. And then we'll take the leg back up to center and halfway over to the right. So you're going to feel the stretch now into the outside of that left leg, the IT band that wraps all the way into the glute. Let it feel good. We're tight in that area, and it's nice to just hold the stretch. A real flex into that left foot. Reaching the heel towards the wall will give you a little extra sensation. Two more deep full breaths. And then we'll gently bring the foot back up to the ceiling. We're going to bend into that left knee. Release the towel or the strap. You're going to bend back into the right knee if you haven't already. Nice job. I'm going to have you take the heels of the hands and press them at the very tops of the thighs, just lengthening through the lower back. It should feel good. If you have that block or thick book, you're going to go ahead and find that now. We're going to come into supported bridge. So you're going to notice how this feels for your back. If it doesn't feel good, feel free to release the block at any time. So I'm going to take the block on its flattest level. I'm going to gently lift up my hips and pelvis, and I'm going to bring that block underneath the lower back, the sacrum, a little bit like between the butt and the low back. So you got to find that comfortable spot for you, and then just allow yourself to rest. Notice how this feels on your lower back. If it doesn't feel well, after a couple of breaths, you're gently going to lift up the hips and release the block and just rest. Softening the shoulders, the face, and the neck. Maybe you close the eyes if they're not already. We're going to come into a nice relaxing breath. It's just called a 1 to 2 breath. So whatever your natural inhalation count is, you're going to double out your exhalation. So a complete inhale and a super long exhale. In and out through the nose if you can. So finding that for you. Relaxing our nervous system with this breath. You're welcome to stay in this supported bridge variation. I'm going to take a modified shoulder stand by taking my legs to the sky. You can keep the block on this level. You can even not have a block at all and just take the legs straight up to the sky. I'm going to elevate my block just one level because it feels good in my body. And I'm going to go ahead and make sure the block is secure. I'm going to bend into my knees, lift the feet off the mat, and then extend my legs straight so that my feet are toward the sky. So very gentle inversion here. As I allow my legs to come to the sky, the blood flow releases from the legs, comes down all the way into my torso. So sometimes you get a sensation of tingling in the feet and the legs. That is normal and okay. This is very therapeutic. It helps to drain the lymph nodes that are in our ankles and legs. And it's very calming for the mind. So we're going to rest here 1 more minute. Again, at any time, if you need to bend into the knees, ground the feet to the mat, perfectly fine. Just allowing yourself this simplicity of stillness and silence. A few more breaths here. If you have your legs to the sky, you're going to begin to place a bend into the knees, bringing the feet gently to the mat. If you have a higher level of block, you're gently going to release the block to the next step down, gradually to where then you can release the block all the way out. From here, we'll take a nice full body stretch if that feels good. And then we're going to go ahead and place a bend into the knees once again, grounding the feet down. The arms are going to come out to the side in a T or even a soft cactus shape if that feels good. We're going to take our feet wide as the mat. So there's a lot of space between the knees. Then we're just going to pinwheel the knees over. Then we're going to inhale back to center. Pinwheel the knees over towards the left. Feel free to hold this if you like. We're going to continue dynamically for a few rounds here. Inhaling, bringing the knees over. Inhale center, and then we'll exhale the knees to the left. Inhaling the legs to center, exhale knees to the right. Inhale knees to center, exhale to the left. We're going to do one more complete round. So if you're holding, make sure you take the knees to the other side. Then we'll inhale back up, exhale the knees over towards. Inhale back up and exhale the knees over towards the left. Then coming back to center, hugging the knees. Feel free to hold this here. Gently decide on the lower back. Our last pose we're going to take is a happy baby. So you're welcome just to stay right here in Apanasana, just holding on to the knees. If you'd like, you're going to take the feet towards the sky with the knees bent. You're going to reach for the outside edges of the shins and calves, or if you can, edges of the feet. And then try to draw the knees a little bit more into the armpits or the sides of the ribs. So you're getting a nice opening through the hips and the inner thighs. Feel free to stay static, or you can rock gently side to side, whatever feels best for your body. About 3 more full rounds of breath, wherever you're at. Nice job. And then we'll hug the knees back into the chest. I'm going to go ahead and rock up to seated just so I can demonstrate our final resting pose, Shavasana. Feel free to stay on your back. I like to use some support underneath my knees for our final resting pose. Shavasana is classically taken lying on the back. If lying on the back doesn't work for you, that's okay. You can lie on your side with a blanket or towel between the legs. You can even lie on your belly in a comfortable position. You could even take Shavasana seated in a chair, just relaxing. So find a nice final resting pose for you. Again, lying on the back, lying on your side, lying on your belly, or in a chair. Once you settle in, just having the arms in a comfortable position, the eyes softly closed. Just noticing if there's any remaining gripping or holding in the body. Consciously releasing that holding, scanning the body head to toe. And softening the jaw, the cheekbones. Let your body deeply rest and receive all the benefits of your practice. Shavasana is so simple, yet so powerful and needed. Let yourself deeply rest. Shavasana. You are welcome to stay here as long as you'd like. If you're ready to transition, just drawing the attention back to your breath. That breath intention that you created at the beginning of class. Inhaling what you need, exhaling what no longer is serving you. Bringing some gentle movement to fingers and toes. Maybe you rock the head gently side to side. If it feels right, you can take a full body stretch. We're going to transition. If you're reclining or lying, you're going to transition onto your side in a fetal position, taking your time, moving slowly and mindfully. And just noticing here the effects of the practice. The body relaxed, the mind calm, the spirit at peace. Just taking all the goodness from your practice today into the rest of your day or evening, staying calm and centered, no matter what comes your way. We use the strength of the arms to bring ourselves into a comfortable seated position. Once you find that comfortable seat, you're going to go ahead and rest the palms face up on the thighs in a receiving gesture. We're going to allow ourselves 1 minute of quiet reflection and meditation, fully integrating our practice. Allow yourself to listen and receive. And we'll take 2 collective breaths together. Nice deep inhale in. Let it go through the mouth. Another deep inhale in. Longest exhale yet. Drawing the hands into heart center. It's always an honor and a pleasure to guide your practice. Thank you for showing up and sharing your beautiful presence with me. From the light within me, I honor and respect the light within you. Walk in grace and peace and shine bright, my friend. Much love and namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. You can stay connected with me on my website, loveserveinspire.com.